Welcome, new legends, to Shadowgun Legends. My name is Awall, and in this video, I'm going to help you better understand this, the hub in this game. Most mobile games have relatively simple menus or one kind of basic menu area that you can navigate around to understand how you're supposed to play the game and progress your character and your account. In this game, you've got a full-blown 3D environment that you can interact with up to 12 players in the hub, and there are a bunch of different vendors and mechanics and ways to progress through the game that you can see as soon as you join, and the game doesn't really make it very straightforward exactly what all of these vendors do and exactly what's going on here in the hub. I'm going to break it down as simple as I can for you new players so that you can save time, save hours, instead of walking around here figuring stuff out, maybe making mistakes. Watch my video all the way through and you will thoroughly understand the way the hub works, what is here and what you should pay attention to, and move on to saving time and grinding and becoming, hopefully, at the top of this Hall of Fame leaderboard, seeing yourself at the very, very top. And will you have a million-plus fame like this guy at the top? Maybe you will be, if you start with these tips. Cool, so let's get straight into it. As soon as you enter the hub, you've got all of the different vendors available in front of you, and this main statue that you see here in the middle, the statue is essentially for whomever has the highest fame in the town at that particular time or in the hub at that particular time. This is the primary leaderboard that will show you where you're at in terms of your fame in comparison to all other players in the game. Fame is the main sort of like way to measure your progression in the game. You get fame for doing any number of things like completing missions, for completing achievements, etc. This first vendor right here is a decoder and epic gear vendor. You will bring holograms to decode to this particular vendor. You can roll the lucky wheel as well. It's not worth knowing about right now necessarily, but later on you'll end up getting this horseshoe currency essentially, and you can spin the wheel later on. But namely, you're just going to decode stuff and turn in missions to this particular vendor as a new player. This next vendor, his name is Slade. This is going to be where the majority of your missions come from within your campaign, and Slade is what you're going to want to focus on. And so he will be giving you all these missions right here, and each one of these generally, the main hub missions or campaign missions will have the highest EXP as well as the highest fame to progress your account. And you'll be able to identify those missions right up here in this corner as you navigate through the planets, and you'll want to go ahead and choose the highest EXP missions possible and complete those first. Like, for example, this mission right here, as soon as I get a higher rank, I'll be completing this campaign mission that gives me 6,000 EXP, as opposed to these operations missions which give me only 800 EXP. Slade equals missions equals progression. This guy right here, Big Red, is primarily for armor and cosmetics. He can also give you missions, and as you can dive into any of the vendors, you have the opportunity to directly buy any number of armor bundles or armor yourself. In this case, you can buy sprays, etc. I won't go through all of that, but the main thing you're going to be doing as a new player here is completing missions with this particular vendor, as well as selling your armor. Be sure to sell your armor here. Be sure to sell your weaponry over here to Willow, who also has styling, and it's the same concept. I won't show it to you one more time. Weapons equals female avatar. Armor and cosmetics equals male avatar here, and you can sell all of your stuff there. So one thing that's kind of confusing, a lot of people think that this is the PvP vendor here in the hub. It's not. There's PvP and PvE missions here with Nitro, and War Games encapsulate both of those. Duels are 1v1s. Ascendancy is 4v4 team-style battles, kind of the more core PvP mode in this game. And there's a kind of co-op PvE, essentially, dungeon-style missions that you can do here with Volcanic Fist, as well as Bronze Arena, and later on, once you rank up to the higher ranks, you get more co-op dungeons, essentially. So these are essentially PvE modes, if you will, right here, and these two, Duel and Ascendancy, are PvP modes. So War Games are both, so don't just automatically avoid this vendor if you're just thinking you don't want to do PvP. Not to mention, just completing some PvP matches will end up giving you the fame that you're looking for, and it's some of the missions that you need to complete. Right here, you can look at the leaderboard specifically for PvP. You can look at it for duels and ascendancy, and you can see who the top players are in the game of all time and for certain periods of time. If you see players standing around one of these or these types of kiosks in the hub, these are things that you can click to watch advertisements. I've reached my limitation, but they're going to be showing advertisements there, and that will allow you to get get the primary currency in this game, the premium currency rather, which is this, gold. You can buy this currency if you want to, which will unlock these items right here, a larger inventory slot, backpack, I haven't done that yet, or you can just watch ads to get 1 gold at a time, or at least that's the way it was in the final beta build. Okay, cool. This guy right here is very, very important. Do not ignore Hakim. Sponsor contracts are what you end up earning over time as you rank up your fame. And as the higher and higher your fame gets, the better and better your contracts will get that you can use to acquire currency on a daily basis. This one in particular that I'm doing right now gives me 3,495 currency per day if I log in and I claim it. It's essentially a paycheck for paying this game and for logging in, and it's a way for Madfinger Games to incentivize you to log in on a regular basis. There's also Fame Hunter missions, which is just another kind of layer of missions in this game, which are relatively generic. You don't really have to worry about those too much. Just pick all of them up and complete them. That's all you really need to know. There's a food vendor here, Choppy, and if you eat food and you drink drinks, you end up getting buffs for them. So I will just drink a orange juice right now, and as you will see, I will probably end up getting a buff somewhere. No, that one in particular doesn't give you a buff, but different food and drink in this game will give you buffs, and I'm sure that they're going to change that over time. And also, you can drink alcohol, which is going to make you get drunk in this game, and you can actually look at your alcohol rating in your profile. Sarah is the bartender here, and she also gives missions that you can complete, which is unique for her versus a normal food and drink vendor. And as you do food and drink here, you can end up eating or drinking and end up getting buffs based on what you do. So for example, if I eat this protein bar or whatever, as you can see, there we go, there's the buff. There's a buff right up here in the corner, and for 30 minutes I have a plus 5% projectile damage. That's what food and drink does. You can hit that up here in this club, or you can go ahead and hit that up at the food and drink vendor right outside of this club. The next thing I'll show you is the casino, which is right around the bend here. Avoid the casino as a new player unless you get missions that involve the casino, but basically the casino is a way to gamble your currency to get more currency, just like a real-life casino. I have yet to actually measure the effectiveness of gambling. I would assume that gambling, the house will win. I'm going to assume that until I see numbers that say otherwise, but basically in here you can walk up to any of these slot machines, you can use them, and you could probably lose your money. In the brief period of time that I was in here, and I ended up gambling myself, I ended up breaking even. So I'm imagining that you're going to either break even or you are going to lose currency by being in the casino. Avoid it, new players, until you have lots of money and you really want to play around with it and just have a good time. I mean, this game allows you to drink alcohol essentially and go gambling, so it's definitely a more adult-themed video game, and for mobile games especially. In the beta build of the game, this area is closed, so unfortunately I cannot tell you. This is the final beta build that I'm using right now to tell you about this hub, but I will be updating this video on a future basis. And Alcatraz, a scum treatment facility, is also currently closed in the final beta build. I will do a revised version for new players, and I'm going to be doing lots of new tips for new players videos in the future. But that's the basics of the hub. That's what the function of each of these areas is, so don't get overwhelmed by it, don't get confused by it, don't walk around and try to figure it out for hours. It really is that simple. I hope this video helped you, and right now I'm going to throw up above my head a playlist to my other new player videos to help you guys learn the basic mechanics of the game and to focus on what you want to be doing here. I'm going to be releasing Shadowgun's Legends content on the channel hopefully daily, so click the circle button in the middle of the screen right now to subscribe, and I'll also have YouTube on the far side recommend a video to you because YouTube knows you better than anyone. My name's Awall. Go become a legend. Adios.